Hello Cancer, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of February 19th through 25th. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards. Oh, that just jumped right out. Connect with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond what I'm telling you. The most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here is a Three of Swords that just jumped right out of the deck. So we're going to use that as our starting point and see what might be going on here this week. All right, let's see here. And some pretty good cards. Let's do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're going to leave that right there. We're not looking at it until the very end, so stick around. And we'll see if that might tie the reading together or give us the confirmation that we're looking for at the very end of things. Okay, so we've got some earth. We've got some water and air, a little major. We've got some fire, some air, some earth, some air. So kind of a lot of air, not a lot of water, not really too much of anything, honestly. There's a little bit of major arcana, which I think is our saving grace. The first thing, though, that we need to talk about is this nasty kind of Three of Swords, sorrow. I feel like you're the type of person that is kind of subject to your moods a little bit, maybe more than the average Cancer, okay? I think it's kind of a common thing for Cancer, honestly, but I feel like right now, this week, it's kind of a central issue for you. I think that there are just a lot of things going through your head this week about like past situations, about experiences, memories, scenarios, regrets, wasted opportunities. I just feel like there's this kind of vibe of melancholy right now, of like this nostalgia, but not a nostalgia like, you know, reminiscing about the better days, but this nostalgia about kind of all of these emotional things that happen, not necessarily negative emotional experiences, but ones that are just kind of tinged with this like vibe of like sadness or melancholy. I think that you're the kind of person that fluctuates between your moods, you know, and I think that's a fairly common Cancer trait. I think your moods do fluctuate. I think right now you're on a little bit of you have been, let's say, on perhaps a little bit of a low point. There's been, I think, a lot of reminders, a lot of things that are kind of triggering for you some of these memories from the past, okay? And I think that's really what we have to work with this week. Let's go to that recent past card and see where these memories might be coming from. Okay, we've got a Queen of Pentacles. I think maybe this is a maternal figure in your life in the past. Maybe your maternal figure, whoever had that kind of mom role for you. Not gender specific, doesn't have to be a particular person, could be any relative, sibling even. Just the older person that took care of you that had that kind of mom role, okay? I feel like I need that disclaimer when I'm talking about parental figures. Anyway, whoever had this mom role for you in the past, I feel like they did their best, but they were very wrapped up in their own work and their own lives, their own like responsibilities, that maybe they weren't really around as much as you really would have liked, okay? If we're looking at the path of the dove here, so I want you to look at the cards. This Queen of Pentacles is sitting down, okay, and they're looking out into the distance. So it's almost like, yes, they were around, but maybe they were preoccupied a lot. Maybe they had their own kind of life going on, and they were more in their head, more in their energies, more in themselves, in their bodies, you know, than they were engaged with you. Because if you look right behind this Queen of Pentacles figure who is seated and looking out into the distance, we see these two kids here that are just trying to play, just trying to have a good time and be kids. Because this is the Sun card, okay, and this is the present situation. But we're still going to talk about this Queen of Pentacles for a moment. I think that this was like a guardian figure. It almost like, to me, they don't even really feel like a mom, really, so much as they feel like a guardian, somebody who just like has to be there while you're a kid, just because like that someone has to be there, and so it's this person. Because I feel like they were preoccupied with something, and it's almost like maybe they had a health issue, maybe something about their health kept them from too much activity. Okay, it could be. It could be a physical ailment. It could be a mental or an emotional ailment too that was just leading them to spend most of the time sitting down. Maybe literally, maybe just metaphorically. I feel like they weren't really engaged that much, you know. I feel like they had a lot of other responsibilities, yes, but they had a lot of other issues too. I'm kind of getting like a physical thing with them, perhaps. Okay, perhaps. And I think that this is maybe what's been on your mind a lot lately. And I don't know if it's because there is something going on with that person now. I don't know if they've recently passed to the next plane, or if there's just something else going on between the two of you where these memories are kind of coming back renewed and refreshed. Okay, because that's why we see that three of swords there. There's some guilt, regret, sorrow, sadness related to that person, that maternal guardian figure. Okay. But what I see kind of coming around this week is this Sun card. This is a tremendous thing. This is almost like a return to childhood. This is almost like kind of transmuting this sorrow, these regrets, this kind of, I don't know if it's like a disappointment about the childhood, or just a feeling like you didn't really get to have one, or you weren't allowed to really be a kid or something like that, you know? Because I feel, again, with this Queen of Pentacles, they have their back to these children down here who just want to play. Kids just want to play. And I know that from experience, because my daughter, she loves to play. Whenever she sees me, Daddy, Daddy, let's play, let's play. It's her favorite thing to do. It's my favorite thing to do. But I feel like this person had their back to you, you know? And now this week, it seems like somehow there's this return of this. There's this opportunity now for you to kind of experience all those things you kind of missed out on as a kid, or to let that inner child out. So it's some kind of experience going on now where you're kind of like letting this energy out, because it wasn't there when you were a kid. So now it's like, now you get that chance. I think that's why a lot of people go to Disneyland. You know what I mean? I don't mean anything by that. But I feel like this week there's something going on that's going to give you this opportunity, right? It could be some travel. It could be just some kind of an event, some kind of even a breakthrough in yourself, in your work, your spiritual work. You know, but I feel like it's some kind of activity, some kind of a traveling maybe. Up above everything, we do see the Princess of Discs, which to me has a connection with Europe. I don't know if there's some plan or aspiration for you to go to Europe or travel to Europe, or if you recently have, or if you have family somewhere in Europe. But this card is suggesting to me that maybe Europe, somewhere in Europe, is that opportunity for you to kind of let your inner child out, to experience this kind of joy, this carefree, this almost like there's, you know, as a kid, you're not supposed to have any responsibilities, right? I mean, at least in theory, in terms of this card, it's just all innocence and freedom. And there's no taint here. There's no stain. There's no residue. It's just freedom and innocence and, you know, a lack of responsibility. It's this carefree, it's play. Right? And play is just to play. It's not for any particular reason. There's no responsibility attached to play, except when it's time to clean up. But we're not there yet. We're not in the cleanup mode. We're in the play phase. Okay? And I think maybe there's a connection with Europe there in terms of this for you. Maybe this is the vacation that you really need, the traveling that you really need. That's going to give you this opportunity to really let out some of these emotions and get out of this kind of mental rut, this somewhat of a melancholy, somewhat of a depression, that I think it's not because there's current circumstances that are causing this emotional pain, but this is like the memory of the emotion from the past. So it's almost like it's a re-traumatizing, you know. you're kind of re-experiencing that. And maybe it's because there is this trip planned, or there is this opportunity before you, and that is kind of prompting you to explore some of these memories from the past, and it's just bringing all this stuff back up. Okay, maybe this parental figure is still over here in Europe somewhere, and you're going back home, perhaps, right? But something about Europe is prompting some of these memories about this childhood that you had, and this maternal guardian figure. Okay, so it could be an upcoming trip. It could be a trip that you've already made. Maybe you're there now. Maybe you've just returned. But I feel like that's what's been prompting a lot of this, the processing of these emotions related to that guardian figure and that childhood. Okay. Beneath the surface, we have a Four of Cups. I feel like this is kind of the best thing that you can hope for right now. You're not trying to really make this a tremendous, exciting, loving reunion, beautiful feelings everywhere. You're just trying to get like a steady baseline thing. It's just you just want peace. You don't expect miracles. You don't expect it to be like you're just suddenly like best friends, or you don't expect the entire relationship to change, or for the past experiences to suddenly become, these amazing positive things. You're just looking to not have the upset. You're just looking for the stability, the closure, even emotional closure. So the Four of Cups here, I feel like this is you not expecting miracles, but just expecting closure, peace, quiet, resolve. You want to be done with this emotional baggage that you have, And I think that's really coming by way of this processing these emotions through this European trip or something with Europe. Now, I realize my incense has gone out. I'll light this back up. Usually don't do this on camera, but I like having a little bit of incense while we do these readings. Okay. So, again, the best that you're kind of looking for is this closure, this settling of these emotions, settling of the issues, and you just want peace, right? In the future, in the immediate future, we see a Three of Discs or Pentacles. The Three of Pentacles is kind of like, its official kind of meaning is that you're being recognized for some accomplishment, some skill, something that you have done, something that you have built. Okay, so this is almost like a validating card. This is almost like you're getting that kind of validation. And it could be something, because these are earth cards over here with the princess and the queen, right? And this is kind of talking about like a mother-daughter scenario, but it's not gender specific, okay? It's just the figures on the cards. But it's talking about that parental relationship, okay? And then the Three of Discs talking about you having built something and getting the recognition for it. That could be this kind of, we're looking for this acceptance or validation from this maternal guardian figure, okay? And this could be kind of what you're going to be receiving. That's going to contribute to this closure, this leveling out of the emotions, this stability, this kind of this wrapping things up. This is just baseline emotions here. Nothing crazy. Just you want peace, quiet. You want things to be settled. And I think it's coming by way of some kind of recognition or appreciation, or it's just like you want this person to recognize you and see you. See what you've done. See what you've become, what you've built, right? See what kind of person you are now. And I feel like that's what's coming. I feel like that is kind of how they want to, it's almost like you want them now to see you as an adult and be like, look, despite everything that happened, I still turned out okay. I'm more than okay. I'm successful. I'm happy. I'm on a path. I'm good. And that's kind of like, we take the children here from the Sun card, and now they're all grown up, right? Now they've become adults, and they should be recognized as adults who are capable and accomplished and successful and, all of these good things. They're in control. They have autonomy. They have authority over their own bodies, their own lives, their own path, for good or for ill, whatever they choose to do with that life. They're an adult now, you know. So it's almost like a validation of that, a recognizing of that. You just kind of want this person to be like, okay, I see you. I see the adult that you've become, all right? And I don't mean to say that, you know, our entire self-worth hinges on this validation from our parents. I don't believe that it does. But for whatever reason, this particular situation, the closure that you're looking for is involved in this person recognizing you now. Okay? I think that's going to put a lot of this emotional stuff to bed, honestly. We're going to go to the path of the serpent now. Okay? Because this is the situation, and I think that's the kind of ending that it's going to have. What is that going to do? What is that going to open up for you? What is that going to lead to? What are some of the effects of this situation, particularly this Three of Pentacles, this closure? Well, first of all, your general energy, this is a Seven of Swords. This is you on your life path. This is you really not allowing any of these, not allowing anything from the path of the dove to disturb the path that you're on, the trajectory that you have for your life, the commitment that you have to your work, your family, your career, whatever. Despite all of these little annoyances and inconveniences, which are these memories, these moods, the communication, this whole deal is trying to kind of throw you off your path, off your track. And you're not going to allow that because you're that central sword. Alternatively, this central sword is also this maternal guardian figure. And as much as you try to get through to them and get this recognition, this acceptance, this whatever we're saying here with this Three of Pentacles, right? To get that kind of validation or confirmation from them, it's almost like despite your efforts, they're just not going to budge. That there's just maybe no way to get through to them. And I think that's kind of how you feel about it now. I think after this situation happens, whether or not this Three of Pentacles actually materializes and you get this kind of validation or this acceptance, right, from this figure, whether or not you get that, I think you're always going to see this person as someone who you just can't seem to get through to. And with the Four of Cups down here, it's just like, okay, you accept that. You accept that you're just never going to be able to get through to this person in the way that you would like. Okay? So that's a real act of acceptance on your part. I think you're really now coming to grips with that fact, and you're accepting that about them, about yourself. You're different people. You've had different lives. There's no law anywhere that says you have to connect on a really deep and meaningful level. It could be that you'll never get through to them, and that's okay. That's okay. The next card that we see is in the environment. This is an Ace of Pentacles. This is a new start for you. I don't know if this European thing is connected with this Ace of Discs, if you're actually moving maybe there, or you've moved from there, or you're starting something new in Europe somewhere with that connection. But I feel like with all of this earth energy, there's something new going on. There's either a new addition to the family, there's a new building somewhere, there's a new home in one of these locations. There's something new being started here. So this could be a little bit more abstract, and this could be an idea that you are, now that you've gotten the most closure that you could get from this situation, now that you've gotten the most of this closure, you can begin to establish your own roots. You can begin to build your own foundation for your life. You know, I think you are on this central sword path. I think you are committed to yourself, your family, your career, your life, everything. But now without this issue going on, without this path of the dove stuff, you're going to be able to really now kind of settle, right? It's like a settling in. It's like the roots can actually take hold now. And I think that's very important. This is really something new being produced. Maybe it's like you're finally ready now to step beyond this parent-child relationship and set down these roots of your own. Maybe start the family of your own, or, something new in the physical realm that is like the next step, because you're moving away from this situation. Now you're taking that next step. Okay. I don't know how this is going to manifest just yet. We see another ace. This is the Ace of Swords. This is your fears, worries, and concerns. I don't know why this would be in the fears, worries, and concerns, because it seems like we've already accepted that we're not going to get through to this person, that we're not going to connect on the level that we would hope that we would connect. This is like a painful truth kind of thing. This is, you've already accepted this idea, but now I think you really have to acknowledge the implications of it. It's almost like, okay, you really are kind of on your own now, It's almost like you believe that it was true. You've accepted it intellectually. Now you have to really live it. Now you have to take on this authority role, or this adulthood kind of role yourself, It's almost like we've finally, again, taken that step away from the parent-child relationship. Now you are really independent and on your own, and it's almost like you've severed this connection, kind of. You've had this closure, so now you don't have this Three of Swords connection. It's almost like we've severed the connection, at least on the kind of the internal emotional level. You have your closure now. You can kind of cut the cord, and that's a little bit of a frightening thing. But you're still intensely committed to yourself, your work, your family, your career, all of it. The final card that we see on the path of the Serpent is the Seven of Wands. Now, this is some fire energy that we haven't really seen before in this reading. We don't have really any fire. There's some fire in that Sun card, But what this Seven of Wands is talking about is now it's like you are up against the world on your own. This is really taking that next step, realizing that you're on your own. Because see, we have the ace, and now directly to the Seven. You've taken that first step kind of out on your own into adulthood, full adulthood. And you realize that you're on your own. You've had to cut ties with the past. Now you're literally, your lifeline is like cut. It's just you now. You're the kind of the leader. You're the captain. And then you're up against some tremendous odds. Now it almost feels like it's you against the world. And I think that this is going to be manifesting as like a general fatigue. I almost feel like you're going to feel as literally as if the world's on your shoulders, and your shoulders are going to ache. You've got to push through that, because I think that's, it feels to me a bit psychosomatic. Because of this path of the Serpent, I think it's really going to emphasize this idea of the enormity of the world, right? The tremendous odds that are against us, each of us. Any one particular life is up against the entire universe, right? And that's how it's going to feel. I don't believe that's the case, because I think there is a way to unify, to surpass and overcome this idea that it is just me against the entire universe, right? We have to get out of that duality, I think, right? We need harmony. We need resonance. But I think initially it's going to feel overwhelming. Seven of Wands. What's the mystery card? I don't have any speculation here. Well, this is a Knight of Swords. I don't know if there's an air sign person in your life somewhere that is kind of coming in with you, or that is your kind of go-to person, your support person. I feel like this is really advising you to reach out to whoever your person is, because leaving it on the Seven of Wands on the path of the Serpent seems a little irresponsible to me. And I would say reach out to your person. This could be your partner. It could be your sibling. Maybe you are a twin. Maybe you have a sibling that it kind of was, you grew up with, Whoever your confidant is, whoever your support person is, whoever your person is, whoever is that person close to you that you can reach out to them. They may be an air sign person. But I think this is more talking about communication and you really reaching out, taking that first step, because this is the Knight of Swords. This is the fiery aspect of the suit of swords. We've got that fire with the Seven of Wands turns into the fire now. You're taking that fire and you're using it to communicate. Okay, so when you start to feel this Seven of Wands energy, this kind of this overwhelmed feeling, this ache, this pain, this tiredness, it's really this sense of the enormity of the life before you, reach out to your person. Reach out to whoever this is, okay? Make sure we do that. I think that's tremendously important. And I think you really have it feels like it's a really big step in your life right now. And I feel like there's going to be a lot of this, I feel like just a freeing kind of energy from all of this. Yeah, it's going to, be a challenge going forward, at least in the immediate future. I'm curious what next week's reading is going to be like, if there's going to be more opportunity, more air, more lightness, more freedom, more buoyancy. Because I feel like this was the challenge here, and we're taking care of business. We're doing what we got to do. There's this this closure, this resolution that's taking place, and I think it's really going to set you on a new path in your life, at least spiritually, emotionally, right? I feel like you're still committed to the work, to your family, to yourself, to spirit, but I feel like you're going to have this new sense of independence, which in the kind of first few steps of that is going to seem overwhelming. Okay, but you can't give up. Reach out to your person who will encourage you and support you, and we'll keep going. All right. We're going to keep going here into the extended. If you want to check it out, click on the link that's right there. And you can have access to all of the extended readings for all of the weekly and monthly videos. This was your weekly tarot reading for February 19th through 25th on Dove and Serpent Tarot.